Welcome, Sens Talk.
Here comes Sens with a pass across to the stars. He bats it in. Tim Stutzler wins it for Ottawa. Triple Grant is going to put the finishing touches on an Ottawa win. Oh! See you later. Go Sens, go.
Sens win 2-1 over the New Jersey Devils. They sweep the back-to-back at all 4 points as your Ottawa Senators now hold sole possession of first place in the wildcard race. And don't look now, we'll save it for the game notes. Your Ottawa Senators, they're sniffing. They are sniffing around a potential divisional spot. Now, I'll save that for the game notes. But my goodness, what a gutsy effort for your Ottawa Senators today. Now, you're probably wondering, Brandon, how did this happen? If you watch the game like me, especially in that first period, you're definitely asking that question. So before we get into the playoffs and where we are in the standings and, again, the divisional hunt, let's talk about this game and how we got there to begin with. So going into this game, the Ottawa Senators have won 4 out of their last 5 points in 5 straight games, while the New Jersey Devils, yes, they are second in the Metropolitan Division. They have lost 7 of their last 10, 3 straight as well. So the Devils also coming off a back-to-back, lost 3-1 to the Flyers yesterday, looking to bounce back in a big way. Now, speaking of looking to bounce back in a big way, Anton Forsberg looking to bounce back in a big way. He starts for Ottawa, while Jacob Markstrom starts for the New Jersey Devils. Forsberg is 0-4-1 in his last 5 starts, with his last win coming over 2 months ago, basically, November 25th. In his career against the Devils, in 9 games and 7 starts, sorry, a little confusing there the way I wrote it, 2-3-1, 3.49 goals against average, and an .897 save percentage. So, you know, you probably think it's not going to happen. Hold on. Best theme song in sports. I'll say it every single episode we win, and frankly, even in the ones we lose. Bring back Danger Flutes permanently. But as I was saying with Forsberg, the numbers are not inspiring, but look at your screen right now. I don't know what it was. Something just told me that, you know what, Forsberg was going to ball out today, and he did just that. And I'll save that for the game notes as well. Under that tweet you just saw, let's just say Sens fans were not in agreement. So we'll just save that for the game notes. So yeah, so besides the goaltending matchup, no other lineup changes for the Ottawa Senators today. As the Senators going into this one currently hold second place in the wild card race by a thin hair. You know, they're tied there for second. So we want to get a little bit of breathing room here. So we go to the first period of play, and my goodness, shout out to Anton Forsberg. Forsberg was unbelievable in that first period of play. In the first few minutes alone, 5 shots, 2 or 3 of which probably could have went in. He was balling out, like I said already. Again, I don't know what it was. A little hunch told me, you know what? This was going to be an Anton Forsberg elite game, and that's exactly what we got, especially there in that first period. The only reason the Ottawa Senators won this game is because of Anton Forsberg, and more so, his first period performance. In the first 5 minutes, 5 shots, 2 or 3 high danger chances. In the first 10 minutes, shots are 9-0 Devils. You can tell the Devils, who only got 13 shots yesterday in that loss to the Flyers, want to prove something. So they're getting a lot of shots, and frankly, for the first half of that first period of play, looked like the Ottawa Senators were on an extended penalty kill. It was not pretty whatsoever. And again, if it wasn't for Anton Forsberg calming the waters, things would have got choppy rather quickly. So after 20 minutes of play, it's crazy. The shots were 17-2 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. The Devils, in that first period of play alone, got more shots than they did yesterday in the entirety of that game against Philadelphia. So that is insane. So again, full testament towards Anton Forsberg, who hung in there, saved our asses, frankly, and gave us a chance going into the second period of play. And halfway through the game, let's move through the first 10 minutes of the second period. The shots are 20-4 for the New Jersey Devils, or 4-20, depending on what type of person you are. But the shots were 20-4 for the New Jersey Devils. So it's not looking good for Ottawa. Ottawa gets a bit of a break. Tkachuk takes a stick to the face, but he waves it off. Look at your screen right now. It was called a penalty. He said, no, I don't want the penalty. It's not a penalty. So you got to respect Brady Tkachuk there for being honest, especially as a captain. That will help him in the long term, you know, in terms of his reputation around the league. And even in that game, you know, like, they wouldn't have to do a makeup call for the Devils, for example. But also, take the penalty. You have 4 shots at that point of the game over halfway through. take that penalty, get on that power play. But it doesn't matter because puck don't lie and the hockey gods certainly don't. As guess what? Zach Ossipchuk, the Zach attack. This guy has been a steady force for the Ottawa Senators on their fourth line, the energy line, whatever you want to call it, for the last little bit here, basically the entirety of the season. And, you know, he hasn't scored a goal yet. 39 games going to this one, or this is game 39, where he hasn't scored his first NHL goal. He's gotten a point. He's gotten the point out of the way. He hasn't got the first NHL goal out of the way, though. And, you know, he's a solid player. Now, I do think some more time in Belleville would help him round out his game because I think he has much more offense to give. But he's certainly not a bad player. I mean, he's very strong defensively, very physical. So I'm a big fan of this player. So to see him break through with a goal here is massive. It's guess what? The Zach attack attacks! Zach Ossipchuk, first career NHL goal. Ottawa strikes first. It's 1-0 Senators. His first NHL goal in game number 39 of his NHL career. Congratulations to Zach Ossipchuk. An unbelievable moment there for him. A nice chance there too. I mean, look, put the puck on net. You never know what's going to happen. That's what he did. It squeaks by Markstrom, and Ottawa somehow leads by a goal. It's 1-0 Senators. And by the way, when the Sens score first, we are 18-3-0. Now, you're probably wondering, well, guess what, Brandon? Ottawa in that massive, by the way, massive comeback yesterday. If you haven't seen my recap after this one, click onto that video. That was an electric video. Literally wore my cowboy hat because that game was so insane. But again, you know, look, just because we scored first doesn't mean the Devils are not going to win this game. And just like yesterday where the Bruins came back and actually took the lead, well, I wouldn't say the Devils went that far, but they definitely came back because literally a minute later, a bad pinch by Nick Jensen. Can't blame him. Sometimes you got to take a risk. He takes a risk here, gets caught. Chabot and Timmy literally collide, and then Tom Tatar puts home the rebound. No chance for Forsberg after a big stop, and the Devils tie it right away. Literally a minute and 30 seconds later. 1-1 game after 40 minutes of play. Honestly, no issues with being tied going into the third period, considering the fact Ottawa was getting outshot heavily. Now look, in the second half of that second period, you got that Ossipchuk goal, and they really started to push, and they really built momentum off of that goal. But it's safe to say the Devils were definitely the better team for the first 35 or so minutes of this game. But we go to the third period of play, and look, when Ottawa's tied after 40 minutes, they are 4-3-3. But guess what? These are not the Ottawa Senators that we're used to. These are the Ottawa Senators that find ways to win. They built off their momentum from the second period of play into the third. 2 minutes in, Artem Zub from the point. What a shot! Bar in! 2-1 Ottawa. They take the lead right back. It's Artem Zub, and suddenly the blue line is contributing a lot of goals for your Ottawa Senators. Where did all this offense come from? The back end. Jensen with a big goal yesterday. Sanderson as well with a couple of points in the last little bit. And of course, Zub right here with a massive goal to make it 2-1 Senators. And the Sens after that would continue. Look, it was not, okay, we got the goal. Let's step back and play defensive. No, all gas, no brakes for the Ottawa Senators today. They pushed. Nick Cousins, I mean, he had a great game. We'll talk about him in the game notes, but Nick Cousins had a great chance on Markstrom, just as one example. But the Ottawa Senators were not making it easy for the New Jersey Devils. The Devils would empty the net, would really try to push in the final couple minutes. Anton Forsberg would hold the line as your Ottawa Senators win 2-1 over the New Jersey Devils to win 5 out of their last 6 games, points in 6 straight games, to improve to 24-18-2 on the year, and now have sole possession of first in the wild card race. We're only 1 point back of third in the Atlantic Division, that being the Tampa Bay Lightning, and only 5 points back of second, that being the Florida Panthers. Within striking distance is all I'm saying. So a massive victory for Ottawa, sweeping the back-to-back, literally 2 afternoon games, traveling from Ottawa to New York on short rest, short notice, no sleep. They got into New York apparently at 10 or 11. Then they got to get downtown. Then they got settled into the hotel. These guys probably didn't sleep for more than 5-6 hours last night. A gutsy performance tonight. The way they turned around this game, especially after a really tough first period of play, is so impressive and truly is a true indication of the heart and character, literally heart over hype, the heart and character of this Ottawa Senator team and how they are incredibly resilient. A resiliency we have not seen from this core, frankly, until now, and it's a blessing. It's something I'm so excited to see. Anton Forsberg, a big reason as to why we got this win. He stood tall, especially in that first period of play, stopping all 17 shots in that first period, and 25 of 26 in the entirety of the game for a .962 save percentage. Now, look, in his last 2 out of 3, Forsberg, in my opinion, has been solid, including that loss to Detroit, so 2 out of the 3 games, that other one being Detroit where we lost. So what happens? What happens now? I mean, one win from Anton Forsberg does not erase the Levy Maryland sanity run, nor does it erase all the good he's done, nor does it erase, frankly, the fact that he's probably surpassed Forsberg in the goaltending tandem. However, I'll be honest, I don't think Forsberg clears waivers. We don't have any real depth right now. Sogard continually is hurt. Subban's hurt if he had to sign a guy, to an NHL deal. We have like 2 available organizational backups right now, okay? Allmark is on the trip, which is great, but there's no indication if he'll be back soon or not. So I think Ottawa, regardless if Forsberg continues to play like he did today or not, should roll 3 goalies purely because we don't know what's going to happen. And as we've seen with Linus Allmark, unfortunately, he's just not reliable to be healthy for long periods of time. Now, I do think they're being very cautious with him for a reason, and Levy has given them that opportunity to be even more cautious. But that being said, when he returns, you want that insurance, because goaltending, as we've seen with this team, is the difference maker. Like for any team, but especially this team. Because this team has been struggling to score, which we'll talk about in a second here, on a couple of fronts. But again, Forsberg is continually proving himself that, yeah, there's going to be some bad games, but there's also going to be some really, really good games. So that 3-headed monster, I guess you can call it, with Allmark, Levy, and Forsberg is going to be a really interesting discussion down the stretch here, especially when Allmark returns. Remember, he's on the road trip. They're going to be playing in New York and then Boston the next few days, next couple of games. So maybe Allmark returns, so it will be really, really interesting to see what happens with that. Now, the way the Sens completely flipped the script in this game was incredible. Like I mentioned, at the halfway point, the shots were 20-4 in favor of the New Jersey Devils. But since that, and to close out the game, Ottawa flipped it completely and outshot the Devils 16-6. So, again, a true indication on the character of this team and the way they are able to battle back and face adversity head on. Now, a couple of dampening pieces of information to throw at you before I end the video. We got to show the good and the bad. That's what true analysis is. And get this, I mean, this is insane to me. Brady Tkachuk only has 3 5-on-5 points since December 6th. That's 21 games, 9 points in total. So 6 on the power play. Or I guess shorthanded, but I don't think he has any. So that is insane. That is insane. I mean, I'm sorry. You're the captain. You're a guy that scores 30 goals back-to-back years. You're a 70 to 80-point guy. We need more. We definitely need more, especially right now when we're struggling to score. Norris has stepped up. Giroux is definitely contributing still, and he gets some flack. But if you look at his stat sheet, he's contributing. Where are you, Tkachuk? He's still contributing, physically, and of course he's still the heart and soul of this team, and players go through ruts. So Tkachuk is going to figure this out, and the fact Ottawa's winning without Brady Tkachuk, their captain, doing anything really shows how good this team has been playing right now, and the resiliency and the grit that they have to find ways to win, especially in situations where maybe they shouldn't win. Not saying that was the case today, but just in general. Is great, but again, you want your captain, you want Brady Tkachuk to get going, so we need to see him start producing, and that probably plays a factor into why the Ottawa Senator power play has been, a little less than mediocre in my opinion. I mean, if that power play can get going with the, goals against being like third best in the NHL right now since December 1st, I mean, this team is defensive first, and if they could get that offense going, mamma mia, get ready for some fun hockey here in Ottawa. More fun than we already have. I mean, they will be an absolute wagon. But the Sens power play today literally didn't register a shot on 2 attempts. That is insane to me. And their power play percentage since December 1st is 18.2, so 22nd in the league. Roughly around middle of the pack, but again, with the guys we have on this team, and the fact we don't utilize the one-timer ever, which I don't understand. I mean, you got guys like Josh Norris and Batherson with great shots. Utilize that. I don't get it, but hopefully they can turn that around. But the fact that we're playing so well defensively, the goaltending is, no matter who's in net, more often than not, doing the job. I guess we'll just have to be okay with the way things are going, because the way things are going right now are pretty good for your Ottawa Senators. So with that, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Now, a heads up, stay tuned tomorrow here at youtube.com/SensTalk. A very, very special interview with a friend of the show coming tomorrow here on youtube.com/SensTalk. I won't spoil it, but ka-ching, I'll just say that. So stay on the lookout for that tomorrow night, a special interview, and of course the game recap for your Ottawa Senators against the New York Rangers will be out on Tuesday night after that one. So with that, I'll see you all tomorrow after a special interview. And then, of course, on Tuesday, as your Ottawa Senators look to make it a nice 6 out of 7 wins against the Rangers. With that, I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.